my head, but till then I'll fish on, fish on. I swallow my sour mash spirit and drown back the cold. The wind blows straight through me.
Alright guys, welcome to this episode of BC Fishing Addicts TV. So on this episode we're out chasing some burbot. We're out in the Cariboo region, doing a little bit of night fishing. The burbot primarily feed at nighttime, so we're out here for our first night, hoping we can get into a couple bonus fish here.
Normally we fish in the Thompson-Nicola region, so this is a little bit out of our element, but we came here for, this will be our third winter in a row I think now, and we've had some success before for sure. Be about 2 years ago now, Ryan landed a nice 25-pound lake trout through the ice. Tonight we're going after burbot primarily, but you really never know what's going to hit.
Yep, exactly. We got our fish finder going here. We're marking a couple fish. We haven't had anything yet, but we just set up about half hour ago.
Yeah, the weather's mild, which is nice. It's about 2-3 degrees out. We're a little worried about it being sloppy on the ice here, but it's staying pretty frozen, and we're nice and warm inside the tent. Yeah, we got the nice tent going here. We got the heater going, but it's not like we really needed it all this time of year. So we're just using about a typical burbot rig. We've got about a 3/8 ounce jig head glow. So we're flashing them with LED lights about every 10 or 15 minutes or so. Sink them right down to the bottom. We got a Berkeley Gulp minnow, just the white color, just tipped with a little piece of worm, and just bang it off the bottom. And we've seen a couple fish come up and you know, get pretty close, but swing and a miss sort of thing. So let's see if we can get into one here. Yeah, the night's still young. There's lots of time. I'm sure we'll find something before the night's over.
Yeah, we're here all night.
We'll check back with you soon.
I'm waiting in the waters of November.
Just jigging off the bottom with the glow in the dark jig head.
Nice.
All right.
Right in the corner of the mouth.
I wasn't expecting that.
Nice burb. That's your first burb too.
That's my first burb, yep. And he's got. Oh well.
Well, that's still one. Alright, we just got into another one here. This one's definitely got some weight to it. We're down at about 60 feet of water. Oh, what's coming up? Oh yeah, nice big burb. Wow. Beauty. Alright. You know what? We might actually retain this one. Can we? Or should we let it go?
I think we should keep it. We'll have it for dinner.
That sounds good to me. Look at that. Beautiful colors on him. Big belly. Nice.
All right. Good job.
I'm waiting in the waters.
Alright, just got into another one here. I'm thinking we got ourselves another burbot. Oh, just a little guy. One there. Okay, should we keep that one or throw it back? Put the little guy back? Yeah, let's wait out for another one. There's lots coming right now, obviously. Yeah. Nice.
I think we were out here fishing last night till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then up again at 6, so we'll see how long we can maintain tonight.
Oh.
Nice.
Yep, he's on there. Oh,
Awesome.
popped off. Hopefully that hook didn't break. That's the way it goes sometimes.
When you're Ryan.
When Mike drops your fish down the hole.
Oh, she's still good.
Alright, got another one here. Doesn't feel too big. See what we got. Oh yeah, another burbot. Oh, just spat the hook. Shoot. Oh well.
These bones all around here remind me it won't be long, no, till I'll be in over my head. But till then I'll fish on, fish on.
Alright, we got into another one here. Just moved spots and been a little bit slow over here, but whatever it is, it's definitely fighting.
Nice. Right. Beauty. Wow.
Keep this one. That's a nice burbot right there. I think we'll probably keep that one. Get some good meat off that. Well, I'm sure you guys are wondering by now how we're rigging up for these burbots, so I'm going to go over a little bit about what we're using. First of all, the rod we're using, 30-inch ugly stick, ice rod, medium heavy action, very nice sensitive tip on it, which is really handy with these burbot. They can be finesse biters and just kind of mouth your bait, so otherwise you might miss these bites, so we're liking that. We've paired this with an Okuma Kmart reel, low profile bait caster. Loving it out here on the ice. It hasn't froze up on us at all. 7 ball bearing system. Obviously really nice to have your free spool right at your thumb like that, and of course your drag control right at your fingertips. Definitely been a great reel for us out here. We've put some 20-pound tough line Duracast ice on there. Nice braided line, great for ice fishing. It's hydrophobic design, so it repels water and avoids that ice buildup that kind of gets on the end of your guides there and will eventually end up destroying your guides. So definitely liking the line, as well as dragging on the side of the ice, which these fish tend to do ice fishing. They're pulling down, your line is always ripping on the ice, so we haven't had a single issue with it yet. Definitely good. Thing about burbot is they're a great table fare fish. They're not, most people who catch them don't catch and release, so we like to keep a couple and eat them. They can be a little bit tricky to get to skin and fillet. There is kind of a method to it. A big key for that is having a nice fillet knife. This has been our choice, 7-inch Mustad fillet knife. It's a chef quality, restaurant grade knife, titanium coated with just a razor sharp blade. Definitely handy for getting through the skin on these fish. So that's a little bit about the terminal stuff we're using, so stick with us, and Ryan's going to get back to us with what we're using on the end of these lines.
Oh, he's a decent size actually.
Nice.
Good little burbot on the tube jig. Not a bad size, just jigging a little tube jig off the bottom. And looks like finally just after 10 o'clock at night here, and we're finally starting to get into them a little bit. So hopefully, I think we'll keep this one for maybe for dinner tonight, and then see if we can catch some more.
Okay, so since we've got a little bit of time between fish here, I thought I'd kind of go through what we're using at the end of our lines to catch these burbot. Starting with this Mustad swivel right at the end of our tough line that Nick talked about earlier. So we go from the swivel down to this fluorocarbon. We're using a 10-pound test. You can kind of change that up a little bit as you like and see what works best for you, but 10 pounds seems to be working for us. At the end of that, we've got this glow-in-the-dark jig head, which I'll see if I can get a good shot of that to you guys there. And this is actually just a regular 3/8 ounce jig head, and we were looking for glow-in-the-dark, but we couldn't find anything before we left, so we actually made this one ourselves. We took a regular jig head and we just painted up with glow-in-the-dark paint, and it works really well. The paint doesn't come off, so this is great. You just basically bounce it off the bottom. Of course, we'll have something on the end of it, which I'll show you in a second, but we'll bounce that off the bottom. The glow really attracts the burbot from a bit of a distance, as well as the jigging.
On the jig head, we've got here is a tube jig. That's one of the soft baits that we like to use. It's got a nice action to it, goes right onto that jig head, and we'll usually tip it with a bit of squid or something like that. Because what you want is something that stinks a little bit. That's kind of what attracts that burbot in for the strike. The other thing that we use is this Berkeley gulp minnow. And so as you can see on the tail there, look how much that moves. So that goes on the end of the jig head, same thing. We tip it with a little bit of squid, a worm, anything that helps to entice those burbot. Lastly, what we're using, and this is a little unorthodox, this here is a 5-inch slow sinking Savage Gear trout. And usually you would use this as a cast and retrieve, or you would troll for it, or with it I should say. And but it's got this great paddle tail action on it. So we thought we'd try jigging that and see if we can get into something. Again, tipping it with something like squid or worms, and we just kind of jig that off the bottom. So we're going to keep trying that because we have a really good feeling that that's going to produce something today.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, so those are what we're using primarily, and hopefully we'll get into some more fish.
Let's get back to fishing.
Over my head, but till then I'll fish on, fish on. I swallow my sour mash spirit and drown back the cold.
Beautiful burb on that 5-inch Savage Gear swim bait. Look at that. Doesn't even want to let go.
But the lines of the dead drifter's tale ain't written in stone. In stone. I'm waiting in the waters of November. Rain's coming down and it's colder than snow.